Real estate investors are avoiding San Francisco due to the crimes that continue to happen there, and it's a prime example of the collapse of commercial real estate. At least that's what we're seeing, right? The housing market for San Francisco also shows that not many people are interested with all the problems that they're having, but they're not going to report why it's happening.
Well, the Bay Area's housing market is experiencing one of the steepest price drops in the country. A new analysis from Smart Asset shows that 13 Bay Area cities were on the list of top cities in the U.S. where home prices are falling. So at the top of that list is the East Bay city of Dublin, where home values have dropped more than 15% in the last year. Rounding out that top five, you've got San Francisco, Palo Alto, Fremont, and then you got Kirkland, Washington. Oakland coming in sixth as the only city in the top 10 with home values under $1 million.
We've seen this with other cities, right? Where people are leaving because they just can't handle, well, whatever it is that they're allowing to happen within their area. You guys catch my drift, right? Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are aware of how different two places can be. And with this new culture, you know, if that's what I can call it, new culture that's allowed to take over some cities, well, you're bound to see some bad things happen. Okay, since I've already said it, if you happen to be from San Francisco, just go ahead and comment the worst thing that you've seen in recent years, or maybe even just this week. You guys all upvoted, and we can come back to it later and see what's the worst thing that people have seen down in the comments. And while you guys are doing that, go ahead and drop a like for the video. Also subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss out on any of my future updates. All right, but let's get back to the topic at hand, right? So there was a recent write-up on this, and I read where this guy, John, they didn't give his last name, probably for his protection, but we'll just go ahead and call him John. So John has lived in San Francisco's Tenderloin district for more than 30 years now. Given that experience, it's kind of easy to think that, you know, he's seen a lot of stuff. Now, the worst part is he says that bad things are happening in the city. That, and they now seem to be normal. You know what I'm saying?
It is one thing to see what is happening on the streets of the Tenderloin, drug dealing, violence, even killing. It is another thing not to be able to look away from it. That is true for the people who live there, of course. And one longtime Tenderloin resident thought maybe that is exactly what other people and city leaders need to be able to experience to really understand what is happening there.
John says he and neighbors call police constantly to report the violence and drug dealing that plagues their block day and night. He says the police do come to investigate, but the dealers just hide out until they're gone. That's why John decided to take things into his own hands. For a while now, he's been documenting all of the drug dealing and crime on his block, posting videos on social media under the handle Tenderloin Tube. He says his goal is to show people the reality of what's going on in the hopes that city officials and others will do something to stop it.
I know it's complicated. I know you know, everybody has an opinion of what should be done. I don't think enabling people, you know, with doing drugs is helping. I think, you know, there's so many factors. There's getting the people who are using the drugs the help they need. There's getting the people who are selling the drugs. Like, you have to be out there. You have to address these issues.
John says until these issues are solved, he will continue to post videos of what's going on in the Tenderloin online.
It's like it's illegal, it's bad for people to do it, but they do it anyway because things have just escalated to a level where it can't be de-escalated anymore, and folks just pretty much do whatever the flip they want to do. Now that I've said that, what do you guys think is a good way to de-escalate a situation? Because you're not going to believe what some folks expect from the police.
Relatives, friends, and community members gather for a celebration of life to remember Ryan Bluford, who was shot and killed by police here at the intersection of Catalina and Fairfax in San Francisco's Bayview.
I was looking out my window. I seen him shot him. I was in my window.
This neighbor tells me she's traumatized by the police shooting.
They were police. I take care of myself before they take care of me.
Around 3 o'clock in the afternoon on July 26th, police say Bluford approached and engaged officers while they were arresting a man. Investigators say Bluford was armed with what appeared to be a gun. They say he pointed it at officers, and that's when police opened fire. Bluford was hit by gunfire and taken to the hospital where he died. Police released Bodycam video Friday during a virtual meeting regarding this incident.
We do not condone violence. We are a peaceful family. Unfortunately, the circumstances did happen, But as you know, the police make mistakes as well, and so do human beings.
Relatives at the community gathering Friday night say they have not seen the police body cam footage. They tell me Bluford had been struggling with the loss of his mother to cancer last year. Family members say they'd like to see police use tactics other than deadly force.
I really want to learn what de-escalation strategies they employ. Out of all of those police officers, I wish one of them would have just took the time to say, hey, let's talk.
I ain't worried about nobody knocking on my doors, shooting gunshots and all. I'm tired.
Relatives tell me Bluford left behind 4 children ages 3 to 20. They say authorities have not yet released his body back to his family.
Wow. First of all, a life was lost. I'm not going to refute that. But this guy also served more than a decade in prison for an act that I'm not even going to get into, all right? But let's just say that it's so vile that even prisoners themselves beat up people that did what he did. In a word, it's absolutely disgusting. So what really happened here? Well, I watched this entire thing unfold, and there's like an 11-minute video that I obviously can't show you for a lot of reasons, but let me just try to paint a picture for you, all right? So cops show up at this spot where, you know, a group seem to be hanging out. They see one of them who has an outstanding warrant. They cuff him, but they tell him that he can call whoever he wants, all right? They give him his rights and all that stuff. Now, I'm not really sure why the police stuck around in this area that long, but Bluford arrived and he was already pissed. So he was visibly irate seeing this guy cuffed, and I think he wasn't very happy with the mere presence of the police. He told them, or to put it more bluntly, he shouted at the police to uncuff the guy multiple times. Once the police saw the gun, they backed up, yelled at Bluford, and told him to show his hands. That's when it looks like backup arrived and we get a different view, and that's a little bit further, all right? Now these guys tell him to put his hands up or he will be shot. They made it absolutely clear if he doesn't put up his hands, there's a chance that he's gonna get shot. So he was told like 30 or more times to put his hands up, but he didn't, and you can even hear one of them literally begging him to please put his hands up. Now it's absolutely nerve-wracking, guys. Now the last part of the video, well, I can't even bring myself to tell you guys about it, but it's absolutely gut-wrenching because they're saying that the police should have talked to him, but kind of looked like they did talk to him. Like if they watch the footage, I'm pretty sure they're not going to see the same thing, but you guys could search it up for yourselves. But again, you know, word of caution because it's not for the faint of heart, all right? But this entire deal that the police shouldn't use their guns at the sight of danger, I don't even know what they want then. Do they want the police to die instead? To wait for someone to shoot them first before they take action? Like I said, they did not shoot until this guy pointed his gun at them. Now this again opens up the conversation, the woke conversation where criminals, you know, people who want to harm us or, you know, given more rights compared to law-abiding citizens. They want all of us to understand these people, but when they point a gun at a policeman, like who repeatedly warned him that he's gonna get shot, they shouted collectively at least 30 times and from different police officers. Man, 30 times? But still, he decided to point a gun at them. You know that graph of effing around and finding out? Well, he found out the hard way. And just to go ahead and wrap things up, you know, I just want to ask you, if you're looking to be a part of law enforcement, a policeman or whatnot, do words like they should have talked to him first encourage you? Or does this further push away applicants because they expect to be vilified once they do their job? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Now, before I go, if you guys made it this far in the video, do me a favor, drop a quick like for the video. Also consider subscribing to the channel, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one.